So one thing I want to say to all of you, firstly, good morning to all of you. So as you must have seen in the WhatsApp group, the recent messages that I have sent with regard to online classes. So this is to all of you, to all the students of second year microbiology group. So you must and should attend the online classes without fail. So as we have created a WhatsApp group for this purpose only. So as and when we have the class, I'm posting the messages, including the time. So you have to join the class accordingly. And those who are absent, so first thing is that you must have a good phone with good data balance, and you must download Cisco WebEx app from Google Play Store for this purpose. And you must join the class as and when instructed. So those who are absent, who are absent to this online class, they will be failed in the internal exams. They will not be allowed for the internal exams as well as practical exams. So you will be failed. Second thing, whatever benefits that are being provided from the government to all of you, like the Ammavadi, Jagan Vidya Divena, etc. So, any sort of scholarship or any sort of monetary benefits that are financial benefits that are being provided to the students will not be extended to you if you are absent to the online classes. So this is very strict instruction given by the commissioner, and I have yesterday posted the audio message also with regard to the same thing given by our college principal. So don't be absent, and ask your friends also who are absent, not joined till now, to join promptly. So henceforth, from next class onwards at least. Okay. So let us start the today's class. So we were dealing about the enzymes. So let me share the slide. So I hope the slide is visible to all of you. Can you see the slide?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let me just briefly we will go through, I'll just fastly go through whatever we discussed in our previous classes and we'll go ahead. So we started with regard to enzyme introduction. So the learning objectives were what do you mean by an enzyme, its importance in the biological system, and the discovery of enzymes. So what do you mean by what are enzymes actually? So enzymes, as said earlier, that enzymes are basically biological catalysts and they are mostly made up of proteins. Their main function is to increase the rate of metabolic reaction occurring in any living organism under specific conditions. What are those specific conditions? Under controlled optimum temperature one, and another thing is under optimum pH. These are the two main factors which are responsible for the biological catalyst activity of an enzyme to occur promptly. And second thing is, what do you mean by a catalyst? So catalysts are just chemical compounds which increase the rate of chemical reaction which occur without they being consumed or altered themselves in the reaction. So you can say that catalysts are just chemical compounds which take part, which participate or which increase the rate of any chemical reaction. chemical reaction without being consumed or altered cells. They perform the reaction. So the difference between an enzyme and a catalyst, these are biological catalysts which participate in a biological metabolic reaction of a living organism, and catalyst, you can say they participate or they catalyze a chemical reaction. Both of them, they increase the rate of reaction. That is the main thing. Let us, so we discussed about few similarities and a few differences between an enzyme and a catalyst, whereby if you see the similarities, both enzymes and catalysts, they are effective in micro amounts. Means even if 1 mole of enzyme, whatever activity it does, same thing can be performed by 10 moles of enzyme. How much that much effective that so even in at very low quantities also they act very efficient. It may be an enzyme or it may be a catalyst. They both act efficiently at very low quantities or micro quantities also. That is first similarity. Then the second similarity is what they both remain unchanged with regard to quantity and quality wise. So whenever they participate in an enzyme or a catalyst, they participate in a metabolic reaction or a chemical reaction whereby it does not have any effect either in its quantity or its quality wise. Then both do not initiate the reaction. They simply increase the rate of chemical or biochemical reaction by lowering the activation energy. So this activation energy is very important. So for any reaction, the substrates that has to be converted to a product, initially the activation energy that is required is very high. So for any reaction to occur. So what happens here is whenever an enzyme or a catalyst participate in that reaction, they increase the rate of reaction, and by the means of lowering the activation energy, that is how the rate of reaction is increased. Okay, so both of them, enzymes and catalyst, do the same activity. So these were the few similarities between an enzyme and uh, catalyst. Coming down to the differences part, if you see, enzymes are complex proteins, while catalysts are simply few organic molecules. So, as you know, enzymes they are definitely either partly or wholly composed of main proteins, the structure, chemical structure. Whereas catalysts they are simply inorganic molecules. They are made of organic molecules. So that is with regard to their nature. Then the difference between an enzyme catalyst is enzyme structure is affected by temperature and pH changes, while catalysts remain unchanged. As you know, uh, enzymes being composed of proteins, so only they are efficient only when there is the optimum temperature and pH. Whenever any difference is there in temperature, suppose there is some high temperature more than the optimum temperature. What happens here is the protein gets coagulated and the enzyme structure is changed or it becomes inefficient or inactive. So even that same is in the case with regard to hydrogen ion concentration also. So whenever optimum pH is not there for a particular enzyme, any fluctuation is there, then the enzyme structure changes. So that is how the enzymes become inefficient. That is not the case with regard to catalyst. So catalyst does not have any effect of the temperature or pH on it. So it acts promptly in any condition and it remains unchanged. That is one difference where enzymes are sensitive to temperature and pH values. Third one is that enzymes catalyze only biological reactions. Catalysts increase the speed of chemical reaction. So you can say that enzymes they participate in biological reactions, These biological reactions means what? A living body. It may be anything, microorganism, plant body or animal body, anything. Where biological reactions take place. So enzymes, they catalyze the biological reactions. And the catalyst, you can say, they increase the speed of chemical reactions occur where? The labs or industries and so on. So that is where the catalysts are used. Enzymes, they are used, they are present in living things. So these are the few main, and you can say few main differences of an enzyme and catalyst. Then we saw brief history where Louis Pasteur was a scientist. While he was studying the process of wine fermentation, he came to the conclusion that certain vital forces in yeast cells were the main reason for this fermentation process. He called them ferments for the first time. Then in 1833, a French chemist, Asselin Payne, discovered the first enzyme, diastase. The presence of enzymes was first reported by a German scientist in 1878. Then enzymes was first isolated from the yeast cells by Edward Buchner 1897. Then the German scientist who coined the term enzyme from two different Greek words. So Greek words, that is the N means inside, and zyma, yeast cells. So inside the yeast cells. So the enzyme means inside the yeast cells. So that is how the enzyme word was coined by German scientist. And zymase was the first discovered enzyme by Buck, as we then the first purified and crystallized enzyme was urease by J.B. Sumner from jack beans, commonly called as Lodia. So from jack beans is where the first enzyme urease, you can say the chemical structure of an enzyme was it was purified and the crystallized enzyme structure was studied. So the credit goes to J.B. Sumner for this thought process. Then the proteinaceous nature of an enzyme was established by Northrop and Sumner. So the main thing, that is the main chemical component present in enzyme protein, that nature was identified, right? So this is the brief history, you can say, of enzymes, who discovered them, who coined the term, how the enzyme structure was purified. So coming down to the importance of, enzyme, you see, a biological system needs enzymes for two reasons. First thing is that since enzymes are biocatalysts, they speed up the rate of biological functions like digestion or respiration, which would otherwise be too slow to meet energy needs of the body. So this is the first uh, reason you can see enzymes are needed for any biological system. So to perform its metabolic reactions. Then second one is metabolic reactions have optimum temperature and so it is occurring inside a body, living body where the temperature is controlled in the controlled conditions and even the nitrogen content concentration. So this being these two factors being at optimum rate, it is the temperature and pH, all the basic metabolic reactions that occur inside a living body, uh, they get catalyzed effectively by the enzymes. So these are the two biological system needs for reasons for that. So if you see here in this where carbon dioxide and water, so this reaction taking place without an enzyme. So there is no enzyme involved in this reaction and the carbonic acid is formed. So these two are the substrates, carbon dioxide and water, where the carbonic acid is the product. So in this reaction, no enzyme is involved. So you can see the whatever product rate that has been produced, that is 200 molecules are formed per hour. So this is the rate without an enzyme. But if you see the second scenario where second equation where the same carbon dioxide and water, they are in the presence of an enzyme. That enzyme is what? Carbonic anhydrase. Enzyme is involved in this reaction and same carbonic acid is formed where you can see a huge difference in the product rate where 60,000 molecules of carbonic acid are formed every second. So you can see here the difference. So without an enzyme in this reaction, 200 molecules, just 200 molecules formed in 60 minutes time, 1 hour. Whereas 60,000 molecules are formed every second and enzyme also participates in this reaction. It catalyzes this reaction, whereby the rate of this reaction, the speed of this reaction is increased at a very high pace. So this is that you can clearly see a difference between a reaction, in a chemical reaction where without an enzyme and an enzyme. So this, so it is very very important for an for any chemical reaction to occur, or biochemical biological reaction to occur in the presence of enzyme, so that it occurs at a very high pace. Then if you just really summarize, we saw just enzymes are what are biological catalysts. Then these are just like chemical catalysts, they accelerate or increase the speed of reaction without being consumed quality wise or quantity wise. Then they are majorly made up of proteins. So they are proteins with catalytic power, you can say, enzymes. So they were first isolated by Edward Buckner, mixed cells, and the enzyme word was coined by German scientist W. Kuhn. Then enzymes are very important because they increase the speed of reaction, increase the speed of any uh, usual slow metabolic reaction in a living body, which manifolds and requires specific temperature. Then we discussed about the properties of an enzyme, where characteristics of an enzyme. So this is a protein structure. Then we discussed about the properties of enzyme, some basic properties like the size. Size of enzyme is very very large. Then it has a very high molecular weight. Then these are hydrophilic, that is water soluble colloidal compounds, and biologically knowledge is produced in living organisms. They are mostly present in living organisms. They are, second thing is, they are either wholly or part of an enzyme is made up of protein. So protein is the main constituent that is compulsorily present in an enzyme. Maybe whole enzyme made up of protein, part of it. So they are required in very micro amounts and remain unchanged during reaction. So as we discussed earlier, that maybe an enzyme or catalyst. So enzymes are very very efficient even at a very low quantities also. Okay, even at micro amounts of an enzyme when it participates in a reaction, the activity of that catalyst activity of that reaction is equivalent to some larger amount of that same enzyme. So it is very efficient. And the second thing is that it does not undergo any change. It remains as it is, just it speeds the rate of reaction. Then it has three-dimensional tertiary protein structure. So that is very important. So whenever it has a particular 3D structure, when the temperature rises, when from the optimum temperature, any fluctuation occurs, then what happens? This protein structure gets changed, destroyed, and that is how the enzyme becomes inactive. So every enzyme has a particular three-dimensional protein structure. That is how it combines or binds with the substrate. Okay, so enzymes are influenced by change in optimum change in temperature and pH. So you can say that enzymes are sensitive to temperature and pH concentration, hydrogen ion concentration. So they work efficiently only at a particular optimum temperature. Whenever there is fluctuation is there in temperature and pH, enzymes they become inactive. They do not perform to its full potential. Then they are substrate specific. So every enzyme is substrate specific. So one particular enzyme which acts on a particular substrate, we can say sucrose is substrate and sucrase is the enzyme, where sucrase will be specifically acting sucrose substrate. Sucrase enzyme won't be acting lactose, glucose, and so on. So these are substrate specific. They one enzyme combining with a particular substrate won't act on another substrate. So these are substrate specific. And enzymes does not change the equilibrium constant of a reaction, but lower the activation energy. So when an enzyme participates in a reaction whereby substrates, suppose A plus B are the substrates and the C plus D are the products. So when an enzyme is also participates in that reaction, A plus B plus enzyme, and C plus D products are produced by lowering the activation energy of that reaction, and the equilibrium without undergoing any change and having any effect on that chemical reaction. So the equilibrium remains constant. That is the main function of enzyme. The property is enzymes are very efficient and have high turnover number. So every enzyme has a particular turnover number. We say it in short TON. Every enzyme has a turnover number. So what is this turnover number? So 1 mole of enzyme, 1 minute. How many substrates, how much of substrate is converted into product? That quantity denotes the enzyme turnover number. So every enzyme has a specific or particular turnover number. Okay. So I repeat, how many moles of or how much substrate converted into product by 1 mole of enzyme 1 minute. That number denotes the enzyme turnover number. Then the other function is that enzymes catalyze reversible reactions. So suppose A plus B are the substrate where enzyme catalyzes this reaction. C plus D are the products. So that you can say it is a forward reaction. And reverse, it is same enzyme catalyzes the reversible reaction. And you can say that C plus D, suppose the products are the substrates now, and the same enzyme acts on that C plus D, and they produces again A plus B as product. So that you say reversible reaction. So earlier we saw carbon dioxide and water are forming carbonic acid. Same carbonic acid when the uh, that same enzyme acts on it, again carbon dioxide and water are formed. So like that. So enzymes they catalyze the reversible reaction. Then another function is that some enzymes are intracellular or endoenzymes. Some are extracellular or exoenzymes. So most of the time, these enzymes are present inside a living. So they perform different metabolic reactions that they catalyze. So when they occur inside a cell, participating or catalyzing a particular reaction. Those category group of enzymes as intracellular or endoenzymes inside the cell. And there are some enzymes which act outside the cell. So these are called, that group is called exoenzymes or extracellular. So these are the few important properties of enzyme which you should remember. So in this picture you can see that enzymes are wholly or partially proteinaceous in nature in chemical composition, which means they are made up of long chain of amino acids. So as you know that enzymes, suppose this part is made up of protein. So if you see the structure of this part, protein structure, you can see these are all amino acids, okay, connected by polypeptide chain. So these long chains of amino acids, they form the proteins, so that are present inside an enzyme, except ribozyme RNA, which RNA acts as catalyst. So except the ribozyme and RNAs, remaining enzymes are made up of proteins and they catalyze the any particular reaction. Enzyme always have three-dimensional tertiary structure of protein formed by foldings and bonding of long chain of amino acids. So as discussed in the properties that every enzyme has 3D structure having number of the particular foldings, protein foldings that are present because of the long chain of amino acids. So when any fluctuation is there, that those foldings they unfold and they form a different structure. Okay? So that is how enzyme they lose its normal structure and they become inefficient because when the shape changes, that cannot bind to that substrate. That is how the enzyme becomes inefficient. Then this tertiary this tertiary structure of protein provides stability and water-soluble nature to the enzymes. So this particular 3D structure that has for every enzyme, it provides the stability to combine with a particular substrate. So as if the enzymes are substrate specific, that means it is like a just a puzzle. So in that puzzle, substrate and enzyme they fix and they form a bond. So that is how enzyme substrate complex is formed. And even the structure provides the hydrophilic nature or water soluble nature to the enzymes where enzymes get soluble dissolved in the water. So enzymes are substrate specific, just as I said earlier. So that here you see this particular shape, the enzyme. Okay, suppose this is the 3D structure. This is the substrate which is perfectly suitable for this enzyme, where it can easily fit into in that structure. Okay. So one is substrate. So molecules upon which enzyme acts to catalyze a biochemical reaction in living organisms. Every enzyme works on a specific substrate. So as I said earlier, enzymes are specific, substrate specific, where maltase acts on maltose. It won't act on lactose too. So it is substrate specific. Then substrate binds at a specific site on the enzyme, which is made up of specific sequences of amino acids called as active sites. So every enzyme has a particular active site. So you can see here, so this is the active site where here only the substrate can come and bind, fix in it, or form enzyme substrate complex. It can't or it won't go and bind somewhere else because it is not the does not have the particular uh, specificity, the enzyme. At a particular site only it can fix. So that site is known as the active site. So that is present in any every enzyme. So the active site has a specific shape due to the tertiary structure of protein. So how this structure is provided? It is being provided by the protein structure, which is made up of uh, number of amino acid chains. So which is complementary to the shape of substrate. Next thing is that that active site consists of the residues that form form temporary weak bonds with the substrate, and the residues catalyze a reaction of that substrate. So the active site consists of the residues that form temporary weak bonds with the substrate, and the residues catalyze reaction of that substrate. So most enzymes have specificity and can only react with particular substrate. So you can say that the particular shape that is present active site, there only the substrate can come, fix, can form a bond with the enzyme. So enzyme substrate complex is formed. Okay. So this is about the substrate specificity. So we had discussed earlier that it lowers the activation energy. So what is activation energy? So if you see here, a person rolling a ball over a mountain, suppose he requires a lot of energy just to roll the ball up to here, and afterwards it can reach the target down the hill. So initially he requires a lot of energy. You can say, so this is the point, this much is the activation energy he requires to roll the ball. Okay, suppose an enzyme is or energy is provided to this person where or not, or you can say the other way. Suppose this much is the activation energy, or the height of the hill is equivalent to activation energy. So this person requires a lot of energy to place or to uh, roll the ball at the top of the hill. So if you lower this height of the mountain, and which is equivalent to activation energy in case of an enzyme, so he can easily roll the ball, and the same thing will occur. The ball will reach the target in very soon at uh, a very low quick time. So you can this reciprocate to the in a reaction. So this ball rolling thing can take it as a reaction. So for a reaction, suppose this is the product, sorry, this is the substrate and this is the product, and this much is the activation energy required for this reaction to change into product. Okay, this is without an enzyme. Suppose you add an enzyme where enzyme has a direct effect on the activation energy, where it lowers the activation energy, and the same substrate can be changed into product at a very high or at a very high pace or low time. Okay, so enzymes increase the speed of reaction by decreasing the activation energy or lowering the energy barrier. Second thing is that activation energy is the minimum amount of energy more than the free energy of reactants required to start a chemical reaction. This is very important. So for any in any chemical reaction that has to occur where the substrate, if it has to change into, or that reaction to occur or start, a very high amount of activation or a minimum amount of activation energy is required. Only when at that point where activation energy has reached, then only the product is formed. So when you add a enzyme for that, where an activation energy is lowered, and that is how the enzyme catalyze the reaction by lowering the activation energy, and the substrate gets getting converted into product very at a very high pace. Okay, so so enzymes lower the activation energy. So if you see this graph here, so at the x-axis is the total energy required, and y-axis is uncatalyzed reaction path. So you can see here, suppose this is the substrate and this is the product. So this is the substrate and this is the product. So for the substrate to the reaction to begin, so this is the point. Okay, so this is the point where this much amount of activation energy is required, where the reaction has to start. So for this react substrate getting changed into product, so this is the transition state, you can say, transition point where the reaction starts occurring. So this much energy is required, activation energy is required when without an enzyme, this much total, so much energy is required, and this is the point where the product substrate starting changing into product. Okay. So this is the transition state, you can see. Same thing when an enzyme is added to this substrate. Okay. So here this brown structure, this is the enzyme. You see this picture. The x-axis is the total energy and y-axis is the enzyme catalyzes reaction path. So you can see here that when an enzyme is added, the activation energy is lowered, and the same substrate requires low amount of activation energy. And from here, this is the transition point, and the product is formed at a high pace. So this is how enzyme lowers the activation energy. So all chemical reactions have a potential energy barrier that must be overcome before the reactants or the substrate agents are converted into product. So this point is very important. So there is potential energy barrier. So you can say this, that is the transition point where at this point a lot of energy is consumed, chemical reaction, where the substrate starting converted into the product. So the activation energy enables the reactants or the, you can say, substrates to enter into the reactive state, which is called a transition state, okay, which lies at the apex of the chemical, or sorry, apex of the energy barrier. So that is the peak. That is the point which is called transition state. Okay, from where the reaction starts occurring or changing, transformation starts occurring, where the substance gets converted into products. So enzymes provide an alternate pathway for conservation of substrate to product, which has low activation energy. So what does an enzyme do? It lowers the activation energy. That is how the substrate is changed into product, very at a very high pace. So, but the total energy of the system remains the same, and equilibrium is not disturbed. So the balance, energy balance, reaction balance is there. Whatever substrate and product that are participating or bound, there is no change quantity wise or quality wise. That equilibrium is maintained. Only thing is that enzyme lowers the activation energy and the substrate gets converted to product. So this is how the enzymes lower the activation energy. So enzyme, another thing is that enzyme, as we discussed earlier, enzyme have a, every enzyme has its own TON, that is the turnover number, enzyme turnover number we say. So excuse me. So turnover number means number of substrate molecules transformed to product per minute by 1 mole of an enzyme. Okay, so this is uh, different to different enzymes. It is every enzyme has its own turnover number. So the higher the turnover number, more efficient is the enzyme. You can say that. So whenever the turnover number is more, we can say that that enzyme is very active or it is very efficient or it catalyzes very fast. Then the turnover number of, for example, turnover number of catalase is 5 million, as well as the for carbonic anhydrase it is 36 billion. And initially, we saw that carbon dioxide plus water producing carbonic acid, where where this carbonic anhydrase is the enzyme participates, where it produces 60,000 molecules in every second. Okay, so that is how so enzyme is very, that is the turnover number of that enzyme. Okay, so you can say enzyme, 1 mole of enzyme, 1 minute, number of substrate molecules to getting transformed to product, that number denotes the enzyme turnover number. So higher the tone, higher it is. So these are enzymes are sensitive to temperature and pH, you can say, as I discussed earlier. So any fluctuation is there, the enzymes get change, the tertiary structure is destroyed, and it has because of the fluctuation in temperature and pH, as the enzymes are made up of proteins, it gets denatured or coagulated, and the enzymes become inefficient. So, for example, is range of optimum temperature for enzyme is 25 to 40 degrees centigrade, except thermophilic bacteria enzymes. Then the range of optimum pH is between 6 to 7.5. Okay. Except few acidic and basic enzymes like trypsin. Okay, so this is all about brief summary that properties of enzyme. So we have left with another 2 3 minutes. So I end here, and in our next class we'll be learning about enzyme action and factors affecting enzyme activity. So I stop here. So all of you just to switch on your video so that I can take a screenshot quickly. Mary Flora, Dilip, Sham. Okay. So tell your friends, okay, you can close your videos. So tell your friends to join from the next class onwards without fail. Somebody had some problem. That's why today they asked permission to me and they were absent. So unless and until you have any problem, don't be absent. Be attend the charm. Close your video. So be do attend the online classes, or else you will be in trouble. Okay. So if you have any doubts, you can just send me a message, WhatsApp me, so that I can clear those ideas in our next session. So for today, I end here. So having some throat problem. Okay. Anybody wants to ask anything? One thing I want to say, I don't have few numbers of your classmates like Nagaveni, then Blessy, Hasina. You ask them to join the online classes and send me. They can call me so that I can add them to the WhatsApp group. Okay. Anybody
Thank you,
want?
sir.
Yes. Anybody wants to ask anything?
No, sir.
Okay. Then no. Then we shall end here.